You're still single, right? Can't help it, I guess. You're a defective piece for not being able to have kids. Getting older and putting on weight, remarriage seems hopeless for you. It's definitely impossible. Steve, my ex-husband, hurls these insults at me without knowing anything. Looking down on me with such a condescending attitude, I couldn't feel anything but anger. That's why I said, "Unfortunately, your imagination is way off. Thank you, really, for divorcing me." And the look on his face when confronted with reality, I'll probably never forget it. My name is Roseanne. I'm a 31-year-old working housewife. I was married to Steve for 6 years. Sadly, we don't have any children. Initially, we didn't try for kids because we wanted to enjoy our time together. We started trying 2 years into our marriage, but conceiving a child is a gift and it didn't happen easily. However, a year later, the pregnancy test finally turned positive. Steve and I hugged each other in joy. But life can be cruel. There's nothing we can do in early pregnancy. The doctor's consoling words felt empty. Yes, our first baby was called to heaven too soon. I've been to fertility clinics since then, but there's been no sign of pregnancy. Each time test results come out, I feel down. They say getting anxious doesn't help, but it's hard not to. Just because you get pregnant once doesn't mean it'll be easy the next time. Various tests showed nothing wrong with me. So, is Steve the problem? But since I did get pregnant once, it seems unlikely. Steve also says, "If I manage to get you pregnant once, there's no problem with me," and doesn't seem to want to get tested. Fertility treatments are overwhelmingly taxing on women, and hormone injections can make you sick. I've rushed out of the commuter bus to throw up in a public restroom. I've had days when dizziness was so bad I couldn't get up and had to call off work. It's tough, the treatment. Yet, Steve shows no compassion. "It's your fault we can't have kids. I'm fine. Don't be so weak," he says. "The money's just disappearing. I'm not involved, so you should pay for all the treatments." "You're feeling sick? First, make my dinner, prepare my bath, then you can rest. Are you even my wife? You're useless." We used to be so close at the start of our marriage, but at some point, Steve began to throw harsh words at me. Yet, I loved Steve and believed that if we had a child, he would return to the kind Steve I knew. So, I kept going to the treatments. I tried hard, but reality is harsh. This month again, finding my period in the bathroom, I was in shock. I lay on the living room sofa, tears streaming down my face. Then it happened. My mobile phone pinged with a message notification. I didn't feel like checking immediately, even with the sound. But it didn't stop at one notification. Curiosity got the better of me, and while lying down, I checked my phone. The moment I saw the message, I sprang up. What? What does this mean? It was a message from a friend. On the screen, "Isn't this Roseanne's husband?" was written, and a photo was attached. It was indeed Steve. I was working from home today and saw Steve off in the morning wearing that tie. Of course, Steve walks outside and it's possible for a friend to spot him by chance. The problem was, Steve wasn't alone. A woman I didn't recognize stood beside him. A colleague? I thought so for a moment, but quickly dismissed the idea. After all, the woman's arm was intertwined with Steve's. Walking arm in arm with a colleague is unthinkable. What this act implied was... "I hate to say it, but they seemed very intimate," continued my friend's message. "Then they headed toward the back of the downtown area. I'm here right now. That way is..." Saying so, my friend informed me of their location. Ahead was a district of shady hotels. Not as many as before, but still there. An intimate man and woman heading in that direction, I could easily imagine what would follow. "I couldn't stay silent and had to message you, but are you okay?" They could see I had read the message. Tears welled up as my friend, concerned about how I might be feeling, waited for a reply. "Thank you," I replied with just those words and closed my mobile phone. I buried my face in the sofa. The world turned pitch black. I confronted Steve when he came home. I couldn't pretend I didn't know, and I didn't have the energy to hire a detective. The reality of not being pregnant again this month was already too much, and Steve's infidelity was an overwhelming shock. What is this? What does it mean? I showed him the photo and pressed for answers. Steve's eyes widened for a moment, then he collapsed onto the sofa. Ah, I was seen, huh? His attitude was far from remorseful, almost defiant. There was no panic, no desperate excuses. Just Steve, calmly accepting the fact, and I felt strangely calm too. Are you cheating? What can I do? It's because you can't get pregnant. That's your reason for cheating? Look, I wanted a child, a wife, a bright, lively, fun family. But you just can't get pregnant. Still not pregnant in your 30s. By the way, did you get this month's test results? In the evening, when I went to the bathroom, my period... Again, huh? Come on, enough already. Steve's harsh words cut deep. His words pierced my heart with pain. I clenched my clothes tightly, but couldn't hold back the tears. I should be the one crying. Steve's words hurt. As I continued to cry silently, Steve's words kept coming. Well, anyway, since the affair is out, it's just as well. Stop, please. There's no point staying with a woman who can't have kids. Please don't say more. You were younger when you got pregnant, right? I guess young girls are better after all. Please, stop. That's how it is. Please. I'm going to divorce you. Don't say it. Despite my pleas, Steve and I divorced. Since Steve's infidelity was the cause, he did pay compensation. But it wasn't much, as we were childless and only married for 6 years. If it means getting rid of you, it's a small price to pay, Steve said with a nasty smile, a face I thought I'd never forget. Years have passed since then. I haven't seen Steve once since the divorce. Not that I want to. I was quite downright after the divorce, and almost lost myself in despair. But thanks to the warm encouragement of those around me, I managed to pull through. Although my separation from Steve was terrible, I realized I was blessed with good people in my life, and for that alone, I guess I should be thankful. Just a little. Being free from Steve turned out to be surprisingly comfortable. No more hurtful words, no more heartache. Maybe Steve was my biggest stressor. Realizing this, I recovered and peace returned to my life. But storms come unexpectedly. Huh? Hey, aren't you Roseanne? Huh? While walking in a shopping mall, I was suddenly called out. This isn't my local area, so the chance of bumping into someone I know is slim. Who would know my name? I turned around. Frozen, I saw the person standing there. Steve? It's been what, 10 years since the divorce? You've aged. There stood Steve, as rude as ever. Annoyed, but ignoring him seemed childish. Yet I wasn't about to smile at him. You've aged too. You're quite the old man now, so I replied. Just as I was about to turn my back, thinking that was it, he grabbed my arm. I glared at him for his rude behavior, but he just grinned, unfazed. What do you want? Don't be in such a rush, introducing you to someone. Hey! Steve called out to someone. Then a woman, who had been looking at clothes in a shop, came over. A woman I hadn't seen before. Young, mid to late 20s. As she approached, Steve firmly put his arm around her shoulder. This is Caddy, my current wife. Huh? So what? Why should I care about your current wife? But I guess the interesting part is that she isn't the woman you cheated with. Did you break up with her then? Just a fling then. I did marry the woman I was seeing, but divorced her and remarried Caddy. Huh? He actually married that woman? You've been divorced twice now? Yes, it's tough being a popular guy. Just a man incapable of truly loving one woman. Irresponsible. How could this Caddy even think of marrying such a man? The previous woman, yeah, she couldn't have kids either. They're all pathetic. Maybe you're the problem? Huh? No way. You got pregnant with my child, didn't you? But it didn't work out. I'm proven not the issue. Maybe, maybe not. But let me be clear, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Talking to Steve is just a waste of time. Wanting to end the conversation quickly, I turned my back. Bye, hoping never to see him again. I was about to leave, but my arm got grabbed again. So annoying. I'm a little busy. So wait, I grabbed your arm and realized that you've gained a lot of weight. None of your business. Leave me alone. With that weight, you won't remarry, will you? Excuse me? No need to say it. It's sad enough. What is he even talking about? As I stood in disbelief, Steve kept talking. You were an okay wife, but a defective piece as a mom. Walking alone in a mall, looking so sad. Just leave me alone. I guess you're still single, huh? Makes sense for someone defective. Getting older and fatter. Remarriage is hopeless. Definitely impossible. Listen here. His condescending remarks were infuriating, but I decided not to retort. No need to stoop to his level. Trying to stay calm, I took a deep breath, then heard, "See, Caddy, I told you my first wife was completely defective. Arrogant to think she was good enough for me." Indeed. Caddy, you're lucky to have me. Only 26, young, and we can have kids easily. Sorry, we're super happy and in love now, so you're not needed anymore. Don't cry over me anymore. What a ridiculous thing to say. What? Wait a minute, does he still think I'm pining for him? That I'm still in love with him? This is too much. Almost nauseating. Don't follow me around anymore, and lose some weight first. Who's been following who? He was the one who approached and grabbed my arm. I want to yell at him, or even hit him, but feeling so disgusted, I just crouched down. Hey, don't cry. Just stop. I can't take it anymore. I need to yell back. Right when my anger was about to explode, Roseanne. I heard my name called. Looking up, a man was rushing towards me. What's wrong? You didn't come back, so I got worried. Oh? He hurried over to me, his gentle hand comforting my back. I'm okay now, thank you. That's good, but why is this guy here? He looked at Steve, surprised, recognizing him. I can tell from his words that he knows Steve. Why is a lawyer with you? Steve asked in an annoyed tone. Well, of course, he wouldn't want to remember. This is Chester, the lawyer who helped with our divorce. It's a small price to pay to be rid of you, Steve had said, but he probably didn't want to pay a penny. He had a difficult history with Chester. Steve must have unpleasant memories of him. Facing Steve, Chester said, "Long time no see. I am now married to Roseanne." Huh? Steve sounded shocked. Not surprising, after he just called me fat and impossible to remarry. You just said something condescending, but too bad for him. Reality is different. Roseanne, is this true? Why would you marry someone like him? That's rude. He's been very supportive through everything with you. After the divorce, things just happened and we got married. Steve seemed lost for words as usual. If not, you probably don't have enough vocabulary. He's good at demeaning others, but not at real conversation. So, I guess we won't be seeing you again. Don't talk to us anymore. As if that was the end of the conversation, he pulled Chester's arm. But that too was thwarted. I was about to leave with Chester's arm when Steve grabbed me again. Could you please take it easy? Wait a minute. You really married this infertile woman? Don't you want kids? Hey! How could he say that? Chester remained calm. I didn't marry her because I wanted children. I fell in love with Roseanne for who she is and proposed to her. Don't compare us to you. His firm but polite words left Steve speechless. Your marriage must have been difficult. Steve nodded confidently, thinking he agreed. Exactly. That's why you should leave this infertile woman. I meant it was difficult for your wife, Roseanne. Eh? I imagine that being married to a horrible man like you must have been really painful. I guess he never expected me to say something like that. Steve's eyes widen. Chester says he doesn't mind it. Did you know stress is one of the causes of infertility? Being married to you must have been constant stress. It's obvious how terrible you were. Huh? What's wrong with me? I know all about your marriage. How you never supported your wife in her fertility treatments, how rude you were. Could anyone conceive in such an environment? What? It's not my fault, it's hers. That's enough. Talking to you is unpleasant and pointless. Exactly, that's what I wanted to say. I was grateful to Chester for speaking for me. Meanwhile, Steve was red with anger, not expecting such a response. Face red with anger, trembling in fury. I'm telling you. Just as he grabbed Chester's shoulder in anger and was about to yell, "Ah, Dad and Mom are here!" A child's voice followed by the sound of running feet, and then, whoops, a child leapt into Chester's arms, who quickly caught. Then, well, here you are. We were wondering what you were up to not coming back for so long." "Sorry, Lily," I apologized, turning to the voice. In front of me stood an elderly couple, my parents-in-law. In Lily's arms was a little girl. "Mom!" Yes, sorry for being late." I reached out for the small, adorable hand stretching towards me, my daughter Rosie. Chester held our young son, Dylan. "Hey?" A dumbfounded voice echoed, obviously Steve's. I turned around, holding Rosie. "This will probably be the last time we meet, so I want to say thank you. Thanks to our divorce, I met and married Chester. Our marriage is stress-free and purely happy, and we quickly had children. Blessed with 2 lovely kids, I am truly happy. I believe I could have children because I divorced you. Really, thank you." With that said, I turned my back on him, Chester by my side. "Don't quite understand, but going to the bathroom turned into a big deal, huh?" Lily said, puzzled. "I'll explain to her later." "What the hell? You? Someone yelled behind us, but it didn't matter. "Hey, your ex-wife easily had kids. Maybe you're the real cause of infertility." "Huh? That's not possible. I don't have any problem." Their argument faded into the background, not worth our attention. Steve's voice is starting to sound hollow, but I don't care. Later, we heard from a mutual acquaintance that Steve had divorced again. After our encounter, he went on a rampage, lashing out at Caddy. Seems he couldn't stand seeing me happy. Typical of him to stress out Caddy, leading to no children. He's just not a learner. His 3rd wife left him too, and he ended up paying alimony again. After paying me years ago, he was broke and had to beg his family for help with the next alimony. Even his family wouldn't help. Now, after his 3rd divorce, disowned by his parents, Steve's life spiraled down. His depression led to mistakes at work, resulting in a demotion to Minneapolis. We'll probably never meet again, even by chance. As for me, I'm grateful every day for the help and support I receive in parenting, despite the challenges of having children later in life. Chester, our parents, friends, I'm surrounded by love. Watching my children sleep, I whisper, "Thank you for being born."